In the news this week, a controversial plan to inspect churches for extremism is dropped, Ealing Council votes to introduce the UK's first abortion buffer zone, and a Christian Air Force colonel is vindicated in a gay marriage dispute. Hello. Churches will not be inspected as part of government measures to counter extremism, the Department for Education has confirmed. Under the plans, many out-of-school settings, including churches, could have been examined by schools watchdog Ofsted, but following a consultation, ministers have dropped the proposal. Almost 75% of responses said Ofsted should not be able to investigate out-of-school settings, citing concerns about expertise and neutrality. Many others warned that the proposed policy would result in the state becoming a regulator of religious teaching. Colin Hart welcomed the move. Christians were justifiably alarmed at this prospect. The freedom to proclaim the gospel must be protected, not undermined in the name of counter-extremism. We're glad that the government has confirmed its rejection of this policy. It just goes to show what an impact Christians can have when we speak out. Staying with Ofsted, former newspaper editor Charles Moore has joined in criticism of the school's watchdog. Following its recent controversial inspection of a Jewish school, he said inspectors did not seem interested in academic results, but only in asking about sex. Must religion always lose? If secularists are allowed to sit in judgment in a kangaroo court, as appears to be happening in this case, the answer will always be yes. Ealing Council's ban on peaceful pro-life campaigners has been denounced as damaging for public freedoms. Councillors voted unanimously to introduce the UK's first ever public spaces protection order for an abortion clinic. Campaigners for and against abortion will now be forced to stand more than 100 metres away from the West London clinic. The council's decision has been heavily criticised by campaigners with differing views on abortion. Josie Appleton, who convenes civil liberties group The Manifesto Club and describes herself as pro-choice, said the council's decision is a travesty for public freedoms. And responding for the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children, Alethea Williams told BBC Radio London that women's testimonies were disregarded by the council.
I think the main point is that it's a very sad day for not just for democracy, but for women. There are hundreds of women who have been helped by pavement counsellors outside of this clinic, and we had some of these women speaking in front of the council last night. They had very moving stories, and they and we are now devastated that other women in hard situations will not be offered this help. And
finally, a Christian US Air Force colonel has been cleared after he was disciplined for taking a stand for traditional marriage. Leland Bohannon was found guilty of unlawful discrimination by the Air Force after he refused to sign a certificate of spouse appreciation for the same-sex spouse of a retiring colleague. Colonel Bohannon arranged for a higher-ranking general to sign the document, but he did not want to give a personal endorsement of same-sex marriage. He was initially punished, but after appealing against the Equal Opportunity investigator, the Air Force ruled in the colonel's favour. The director of the Air Force Review Board's agency said he has the right to exercise his sincerely held religious beliefs. Colonel Bohannon was represented by First Liberty Institute. We spoke to Michael Berry from the group about the colonel's response.
Colonel Bohannon told me that he had felt like a dark cloud had been lifted from over his head and his family's head, that this is something that had been, they'd been struggling with, not just in his professional career, but in their personal lives for several months now. So, at First Liberty Institute, we were very pleased to see his career restored, and we were very pleased for him and his family personally as well.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.